I'll just turn down my Zwift sounds. Make sure my audio is coming through. Yeah. Okay, Endured Sweat here for a live stream of the Herds Wacky Wednesday. Haven't done one of these live streams in a while, but thought, oh, what the hell? Why not? I am riding Wacky Wednesday indoors on Zwift. But honest to goodness, I should have been riding outdoors today. Beautiful sunny day, 10 degrees Celsius or 50 degrees Fahrenheit, relatively light winds. Beautiful March spring day. Well, we're not quite in March, on the cusp of March, but certainly feels like spring out there today. St. Patrick's Day. Okay, we're going to start rolling now. We've just had a Zwift game update, and they say they've updated the group riding dynamics. So we'll have to watch and see if they've changed substantially. Just from an initial look, riders don't seem to be merging onto one another quite so easily, so that's good. More like in real life. They've also said that they've tried to eliminate riders, seeing riders ride off the course and back on and circling about. That was quite common, especially in big group rides, so we'll have to see if they've been successful doing that. I was reading online yesterday, after they initially released it, some people were complaining that they were having trouble logging in, but I didn't experience any of those problems. Well, I caught up to the yellow beacon, so I should be able to slack off now. This ride is built at 1.3 to 1.5 watts per kilowatt, per kilogram rather. 1.3 to 1.5 watts per kilogram. So for myself, I really shouldn't have to go much above 120 watts. Oh, slow the fence. They also say they've improved the fence I know that it was quite common that when you got close to the fence, it would already say to rejoin the group. And apparently they fixed that. We'll see how that works. Oh, well, there you go. I'm not even close to the fence and it's already saying return to group. So I guess they really haven't fixed it at all. I'm surprised to see that. No, some things never change. Yeah, every time they do a Zwift update, I think we're all nervous about what new glitches they'll introduce into the game. I guess over time, it does seem to improve, but sometimes it's one step forward, two step backs, or two steps forward, one step back, I guess. I'm going to change gears and see if I can slide back closer to the yellow beacon. I'm already quite a bit ahead, 400 meters ahead. That doesn't really make any sense. It's a group ride. And this is supposed to be almost like a recovery ride for me. On Monday, I did a trainer road sweet spot interval session. And then yesterday, I rode the herd gallops. Oh, I really buried myself on that ride. I had ridden some herd gallop rides some months ago, back last November and October, November, and they were tough rides for me. Averaged 2.4 to 2.7 watts per kilogram. My FTP is about 3 watts per kilogram. So for the full hour, those were already tough rides. But I've been doing so many group rides since then, not a lot of hard riding, and decided that I need to get into a structured training program again. So I've been riding on, I've started a training program on Trainer Road. And I wanted to, frankly, I wanted to compare my fitness level to what it was back a few months ago. So I signed up for the herd gallops, again, thinking, you know, they'd be riding somewhere between 2.4 and 2.7 watts per kilogram. Well, I was mistaken, almost right from the get-go. I was pressed hard to keep up, riding at 3 watts per kilogram and in excess. So I said to myself, well, let's see if you can hang on for half an hour. And I did hang on, but barely. And then I said, well, give it 5 more minutes. And 5 more minutes after that. And then when I was getting less than 15 minutes, less than 10 minutes, I said, well, even if you're dying, you have to hang on. You have to hang on. Oh, I thought my heart was going to come out of my chest. Because for the full hour, I was pretty well at my maximum heart rate. And I did finish in the group. And after I see a Facebook posting by the ride leader, and he says that they set a record for distance covered on that ride, 43 kilometers. So no wonder I was dying. I'm not sure I'm going to go back for a while. Anyway, after hard rides on Monday and then extraordinarily hard ride yesterday, I'm looking forward to a easy Wacky Wednesday. And that reminds me, I've got to slow down and get back to the Yellow Beacon. I got caught up in my conversation with you. Yeah, the new pack dynamics seem to be working pretty well. Yeah, I'll need to slow down here. Now, Zwift just announced the Tour of Watopia, starting at the end of March and running through most of April. With the opportunity to earn twice as many XP per kilometer. So if you're looking to move up levels, it's a good opportunity. And they have one ride per week, but I hear you can ride those routes multiple times. So you're not only limited to do the route once, but you can do it multiple times and continue to earn XP at twice the normal rate. A good opportunity to earn XP. And they have it both for cycling and for running. And I'll do some of both. Now, I was thinking about the timing of this Tour of Watopia with the double XP. And I got to thinking, why are they running this program now? Pure supposition on my part, but as I was saying, the weather's starting to look pretty nice out there, getting pretty nice. So, I'll just shut up till we pass the waterfall. So with the weather turning nice in the northern hemisphere, northern US, southern Canada, Europe, why? This would be the time that a lot of folks would start abandoning their indoor riding and start devoting a lot more time to outdoor rides. So by offering double XP, I guess it's an incitement or an encouragement to keep riding on Zwift rather than in real life. That's probably reading too much into that, but I'm sure that will have that effect for some folks, rather than starting to devote time to outdoor rides. They'll stick to indoor riding on Zwift to earn those extra XP. They may have hooked me into it. Well, I think I'm quite a bit ahead of the yellow beacon, so I probably would be ahead of the red fence. Must have taken it down because I don't see that message return to group. Now, when I've done these live streams before, I've usually told some groaner or dad jokes. So I'm not going to spare you tonight. You'll have to put up with a few of them. I wrote them down on this piece of paper. Let's see if I can read them. This one is apropos as I'm riding with the herd tonight. So what did Noah say as he was loading the ark? Now I heard everything. Ooh, I don't know. I didn't really think that joke was all that funny. This one might be, just a little bit better. Yeah, have a look at those cycling dynamics. They do seem better. Okay, why did the people on the ark think horses were pessimistic? They kept saying, nay. Yeah, that's, I guess for a groaner joke, that's not too bad. And I'll make you put up with one more groaner joke in this first half of the ride. We do have to have more discipline to get back to the yellow beacon. So which animal did Noah not trust on the ark? The cheetah, of course. Yeah, these jokes are good to share with your primary grade children around the table, I guess. But they elicit a smile. Anyway, okay, the lead's at 8.7, I'm at 8.9. I'm slowly getting closer. Not too fast, though. I'm putting together another Zwift video that I hope to release tomorrow or Friday at the latest. And I'm going to be looking at the Zwift game opening screen and closing screen. So often we just skim over them and we miss certain points, so I'll go over those screens. And show you what we've been missing, because especially for those closing screens, I mean, when the game ends, I hit menu and ride and go onto the screen that says save, and that's it, I'm done. But there is some information there that's well worth looking at, so we'll go over that. I still don't see that yellow beacon on the mini-map, but it can't be too far behind now. Lots more riders coming up. Someone posed a question on the Herd Facebook page, again, about trainer difficulty. It's a topic that keeps coming up. Usually elicits a lot of controversy. The default setting for trainer difficulty is 50%. There are some folks that'll claim that unless you have trainer difficulty at 100%, you're cheating. And then there are there's the argument that reducing the difficulty just gives you a wider range of gears, or gives you instead of lower or easier gears. And the purists will then rail to say that, why, that's not true at all. And from a strict technical point of view, I guess it isn't giving you a set of gears, but from an all practical intent, that's exactly what it's doing. So when you reduce the trainer difficulty, it will send a signal to your smart trainer. Well, let's say when you have your trainer difficulty at 100% and the slope of the grade in the climb is 10%, it will send a signal to your trainer that the slope is 10%. And you'll have to switch gears on your bike accordingly, just as if you were riding a 10% grade hill outside. If you reduce the trainer difficulty to 50%, then the effective gradient is only 5%. But you still have to climb the total height of the mountain, let's say the mountain. So let's say, for example, you're climbing Alp to Zwift, or yeah, let's say make it Alp to Zwift. So it's about 1,000-foot climb, say an average of 10%. So if you reduce your trainer difficulty, say to 50%, well, now the incline is only 5%, but you still have to climb the full 1,000 meters. And you still have to do the same amount of work to climb Alp to Zwift. So effectively, you're making it a longer but less steep climb. Let's look at it another way. Oh, I gotta slow down again. Shoot. There's a certain power level that I'm used to riding at, and when I start talking, why, I guess I just go to that base level of power output and get too far ahead. So let's say we're climbing Alp to Zwift again. And we have our trainer set to 100%. And let's say your bike has a front crank with 5339, so 39 is the smallest chainring on your front crank, and say your cassette is 1125. So the smallest gear you have is 3925. And you might find climbing $10 kilometers at 10% with that gear ratio is too difficult. Why, you have a couple of choices. You can go out and get yourself a compact crank. That's 5034, and get a wider range cassette, say 1234, and now your smallest gear ratio is 3434. A lot more manageable. You'll still have to do the same work climbing up, but be an easier gear. Or rather than go out and buy yourself a whole new drivetrain, why just reduce the trainer difficulty from 100% to 75% or to 50%. Whatever makes the climb reasonable. So I read one post from a fellow who was saying, well, yeah, if you're not riding up the Zwift at 100%, you know, it's tantamount to cheating. So I asked, well, surely you must be riding a standard crank set. Now I gotta slow down again. Surely you must be riding a standard crank set, 5339 with 1125 cassette. And he writes back that he's riding a compact crank set, 5034 with the cassette. I think it was 1128. So he's effectively, by riding with a drivetrain with a compact crank set and a wide range of gears, you know, he's doing the same thing as turning down trainer difficulty. Some people will say, well, that you should leave it at 100% to simulate what you're going to ride outside. And there's legitimacy to that argument. But let me put it this way. If you live in an area that's pretty flat without any appreciable hills, why, you might get yourself a bike with a standard drivetrain with harder gears. But if you lived in the Alps or in the Rockies, why, I'm sure you'd get a drivetrain, the compact crank set, and with a wide range of gears. Maybe even get a long cage derailleur so you can put quite a large gear in the back cassette. So not too many of us live in the Alps or near the Rockies. So, you know, we don't have bikes fitted with gears that are suitable for riding Alp to Zwift or riding in the Alps. I know I've been over to Europe a couple of times anyway. Well, several times, but twice in particular to ride in the Pyrenees, the Alps, Dolomites. And I don't take my own bike over there. I hire a bike or rent a bike. Well, for two reasons. First, it just makes travel so much easier. Don't have to worry about lugging my bike in with the risk of breakage. But the second reason is that the bikes I'm renting have gears appropriate for the long, steep climbs that I'm going to encounter. So, if I did take my own bike, why, I'd have to change crankset, get a wider range cassette, and probably get medium cage or long cage derailleur. Because when you're riding there, you can't turn down the mountain difficulty or trainer difficulty like you can on Zwift. So I think for me the bottom line is set the trainer difficulty such that you have the range of gear, you have the effective range of gears that you would ride outdoors for the terrain you're riding on. And for the cadence that you'd be riding on. So if you normally ride a 6 or 7% grade at 70 to 80 RPM, you want to make sure that you set the trainer difficulty so that you can ride it about that same RPM on Zwift. You don't want to get bogged down at 50 or 60 RPM and doing your knees. And you know, it also makes sense that if you're riding a flat course on Zwift, why you may well have the trainer at 100%, and you're going to ride a very hilly route to compensate that you might not have the correct gears on your bike. Why turn down the trainer difficulty? Okay, enough of that topic. Oh, by the way, I pretty well leave my trainer difficulty at 50% all the time. And I'm riding, the bike I'm riding has a standard crankset, 5339 with an 1125 cassette. And even then, depending on the day and how I feel, why if I'm riding up Alpe Zwift or Bent Top or some of those steep hills in New York or Lucerne, Innsbruck, why, yeah, I might even nudge it back from there a bit. Okay, we're into the second half of this ride, And I still, oh, now I'm way ahead of the yellow beacon. Oh goodness. Okay, I'm gonna really cut back. Okay, now since we're in the second half of the ride, you're gonna have to put up with my second set of groaner or dad jokes. Okay, I don't know if you can ever be ready for these. Who was the first canning factory run by? Noah. He had a boat full of preserved pears. These are pretty bad. Here's another one coming at you. Why weren't there any worms on the ark? Because worms come in apples, not in pears. I don't know why that leads. They're really bad. But I'm smiling, so what the hell. Okay, last one. Hey, I'm riding all by myself here. Okay. Where did Noah keep the bees? In the archives. Okay, that's enough. I'll throw this piece of paper away. Won't punish you with any more jokes. I have a few more on that page, but I think that was enough for dad jokes for another ride. One of my channel subscribers was suggesting some topics I might want to cover, and he was suggesting a lubing bike chain. I've gone exclusively to these liquid wax-based lubes, non-petroleum lubes. So I'm using Finish Line dry lube, and what I also really like is DuPont chain lube. They have a chain lube that's also wax-based, that's, I guess, marketed for motorcycles. I really like it a lot. Now the thing with both of those lubes is that for them to work effectively. And effectively means that keeps your drivetrain running smoothly, but also that they don't pick up dirt. Before you apply them, you really should remove all petroleum-based lubes from your chain, and the rest of your drivetrain, including your crankset, chain rings, and most importantly, your derailleur pulleys. So to do that, you're going to have to remove your chain and clean it in a degreaser several times to get it all off. You can use mineral spirits. You can dispose of the mineral spirits safely at an appropriate hazardous waste center, or use a biodegradable degreaser, but you're going to have to do it several times. Spray it, dip it, shake it around in the degreaser. You're going to have to do it multiple times to get all the petroleum lube out of the chain from the inside of the chain links. And then you have to thoroughly clean down your chain rings and your derailleur pulleys so they don't contaminate the chain when you put it back on. And then apply those wax-based chain lubes. And I find they really give a smooth operation to your drivetrain, but they don't pick up dirt. I especially like that spray-on DuPont. That spray-on DuPont chain lube comes in the yellow can. I pick it up at Lowe's. But I also use the Finish Line dry lube. I think they're more or less the same formulation. But again, the key is to get all the petroleum-based lube off. If you don't, why? The wax will be contaminated and you won't pick up dirt. Okay, what's going on here? Pretty well doing this ride by myself. That's not very good. Oh yeah. Let's see if I can pull up my companion app map here. And I don't have it set up to run. Anyway. Yeah, I can't even see the yellow beacon on that map. Okay, the challenge for me is, can I get back to the yellow beacon before the end of the ride? I might just have to stop. Maybe I should talk about the video that I put out last week. Unusual for me, but I went over 2 products that I just recently bought. One was a fan. So I've been riding, well, indoor trainers, like rollers, and then wheel-on trainer, and then last almost for a year now, well, not quite a year, since last August, a smart trainer. When I used to ride the rollers, sometimes I had a small fan. Sometimes I just perspired a lot. I've been riding rollers pretty well all my life. But then when I picked up the wheel-on trainer, I went out and bought a pedestal fan at the local big box hardware, and that's what I've been using for the last 5 years. Even on its highest setting, it wasn't that powerful, and the flow was, I guess, fairly dispersed. And I also found it was awkward to move around because I'm using it not only for my trainer, but for my treadmill, and I know it just took up space and it was awkward to move around. So I'd been thinking about getting a new fan, and I think I had read about on DC Rainmaker about some other fans, and I was buying something else, and spur of the moment I pulled the trigger and bought myself a Lasco high velocity, I think it's called Pro Performance Utility Fan. What a difference. My pedestal fan, even on the highest setting, was insufficient. Why, this fan has 3 positions, 1, 2, and 3, and the lowest setting, number 1, is more than adequate enough. The big difference is that the flow is very directed. And I also like the fan because it has a small profile, so it doesn't take too much space, and it makes it easy to move about from in front of my bike trainer to in front of my treadmill. And I'm not bumping into it when I'm walking around. And so is the fan, and then the other item, completely separate, but I guess related to being comfortable in the trainer, is a chamois cream. I did the PRL full again a few weeks back, and the group that I was doing with, we were having some online discussion, and this one writer, I think he lives in the UK, suggested using pseudocreme, which is a product, I guess, primarily targeted for use with babies. But I thought I'd give it a try, and I really liked it. So because of my last video, I was suggesting that, it's a good cream to use, a lot less expensive than the creams that are the chamois creams that are marketed specifically for riding, but to my mind, equally or better, more effective. Easy to apply, and good at reducing chafing, and particularly for indoor riding, it seemed to be a good moisture barrier and long lasting. So you might want to give it a try, pseudocreme, and if you try it and have an opinion, why, leave a comment, see if you agree with my assessment. Well, unless I stop, I don't think I'm ever going to get back to the yellow beacon on this ride, sadly. Perhaps you've enjoyed my banter enough to hang around for a bit. Even if you've only watched for a few minutes, I'd like to hear your comments, suggestions, complaints. If it's been at all entertaining or helpful, think about giving this live stream a thumbs up. Really helps my channel, and so does subscribing. And while you're at it, you can click on the notification bell so you'll be notified next time I put out a video or do a live stream. Not that you might really want to watch, but even just to amuse yourself. I need to look into a way to get comments online while I'm riding. I know there are many other people that live stream their rides, and they do that. It's a better way, I think, of interacting, but I've only done a few of these and haven't taken the time to get there yet. At least we have a few other riders here to stick with. Better than just riding on my own. Oh, it's raining out. Oh, goodness. And at night, too. I can tell you there's quite a few years I was doing randonneuring. That's long distance riding. And for the especially long rides, we would ride through the night. Sometimes it did start raining. Riding at night can be quite magical. Riding at night in the rain, why? Not so much. This is the hardest I've done all ride. Oh, somebody's sprinting. Well, I know the weather for tomorrow and the next day is cold and with some rain, so I won't be tempted to go outside. The weekend's supposed to be really nice. I know I have one long Zwift ride planned for Saturday. So I won't be riding outdoor on Saturday, but hey, might get the bike outside on Sunday. Would be a good idea. Nice that spring is finally here. And I guess we're all hoping that sooner or later we'll get a COVID-19 vaccine and be able to start group riding again in real life. Okay, we'll see you next time.